Floanna, Pink Princess of the Mermaids. The Breadstone family, Frank, Carla, and their 12-year-old daughter Karen, were on their dream vacation. And what better place for fresh air than at the coast? As the caravan took a sharp turn along a sandy trail, Karen suddenly called out, "Daddy, please stop the car quickly." Frank put his foot on the foot brake and turned his head around and gave her a stern look. "What is it now, Karen?" She had spotted something unusual lying sideways in a rocky outlet. She saw a lone figure who had probably been washed up on a high tide. As she wanted to find out first for herself, she thought hard, then replied, I need to go to the bathroom." "All right, dear," her mother replied, "but don't venture far, and put on your raincoat as there may be heavy rain any moment." "Thank you, Mummy." She put on her yellow raincoat and quickly made her way towards the figure. When the figure saw Karen approaching, she sat up and tried to hide. But there was nowhere to go, so she cupped her face in distress. "What's wrong? You look so unhappy. Are you lost? Don't be afraid, I won't hurt you." The figure lowered her hands to reveal a beautiful young girl with golden flowing hair, wearing a jeweled crown. As Karen moved closer, she could see below the water ripples to where the girl's lower body was. "Wow!" She was bedazzled and blurted out, "You're a mermaid." With a frightened look on her face, the girl said, "Oh, please don't tell anyone. If my secret gets out, then not only me, but all of my people will be endangered." "What's your name?" "I am Floanna, Pink Princess of the Mermaids." "I'm Karen. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me, Princess." "It's a real honor to meet you." Karen took a bow. "But why are you here on the coastline?" "It's a long story. I was washed ashore by a strong high tide and crashed against the rocks, after which I fainted. It's my fault, really. You see, we mermaids are always supposed to remain below in our kingdom, but I got bored and grew curious to find out what it's like above." "Well, now I know. But I've got to figure out a way to help you back on your feet." "Sorry, I meant flippers." Karen rubbed her chin in thought, then snapped her fingers. "First we have to build up your strength. So you will be strong enough to swim once the tide comes back in. I'll sneak some food back to you from the caravan, after which you'll be strong enough to swim back home again, Princess." "Oh, that's very kind of you, but there is plenty of food down below already." "Even so, we are now good friends, and I absolutely insist. Now you wait here and I'll be right back." Floanna smiled weakly and replied sadly, almost to herself, "There's nowhere else for me to go, Karen." Upon reaching the caravan, Karen opened the back door and searched around until she spotted a hot pan of soup sitting on the stove. Luckily for Karen, her parents had decided to have some lunch while waiting for her. Perfect. She found a cloth to protect her hands from its heat and poured a nice big bowl full. She held it carefully, but just as she turned around, she almost collided with her father. "And what exactly are you up to, Karen?" he asked suspiciously. She jumped and some soup fell on the floor. She looked at him pleadingly, then she turned to her mother, who also appeared. Mother, may I speak to you privately, please? It's a delicate matter. Carla turned to Frank, who raised an eyebrow and retreated outside. Mother, whispered Karen, can you keep a secret from father? What kind of secret? There's a very frail young girl washed up at the sea coast. I think she must have bumped her head after accidentally hitting a rock while surfing, and I just wanted to help her by feeding her soup to give her strength back. Please, may I? She looked up at her mother with soft, soppy eyes. If she's hurt, you must bring her back here, darling. We might have to take her to a hospital and let her parents know. Karen panicked, although she didn't want her parents to know that Floanna was a mermaid. She also knew that they wouldn't leave a young girl in trouble down on the rocks. Finally, Karen had to tell them the truth. I know I've only just met her, but we are friends now, and I promise not to tell anyone. She's extremely shy and wary of people. Oh, the poor soul. Then you had better take that long blanket with you while your father and I decide how best to help her. Thank you, Mummy. I love you. Carla gave Karen a kiss on the cheek and ushered her to go quickly. Upon reaching Floanna, Karen quickly handed her the bowl of soup, which she drank without question. After a while, Floanna felt strong enough to swing her flipper side to side and gazed to Karen's eyes affectionately. Karen knew it was going to be goodbye, so she said in a broken voice, I wish you and all the mermaids could live here on the surface. Truly I do. Suddenly from behind, Karen's parents appeared and smiled reassuringly at Floanna. Now, young lady, we had better make sure you are fit enough to swim once the tide comes in. Her father checked her fin, and luckily there was no damage. Floanna smiled back. You see, I have the capacity to read your minds and can see that you are all very kind-hearted and good people. Oh, how I wish all of mankind was as big-hearted and compassionate as you all. But before I leave, I want to thank you all for showing me such affection, and especially for keeping my secret guarded. And I humbly plead with you all to let it remain so. Maybe one day in the future, when humans understand the true meaning of love and learn to respect every life form that walks on this earth, then we will emerge from the seabed where we currently abide in safety in our hidden kingdom. I want to also bless you all with good fortune and long and prosperous healthy lives. Karen was on the brink of tears and asked in a shaky voice, Will we ever meet again, sweet Princess Floanna? Perhaps one day, but every night in your dreams we can swim the seas together. She then removed a ruby scale from her side and handed it to Karen. This will be your lucky charm, and winked at her. They stayed with the mermaid, keeping her warm until the tide rose high enough for her to swim. Then 2 dolphins appeared with 2 zebra fish to escort her back down to the depths of the sea to her kingdom. As they moved away one last time to the Breadstone family, she waved. She waved one last time to the Breadstone family, and they all waved back and said, Goodbye, Princess Floanna, and rest assured, your secret is safe with us.